Okay, good morning, students. So, today we are going to start our next chapter that is about the natural resources. Okay, so our first question is, what do you mean by the natural resources? So, that resources which consist of living and non-living component of the nature which are used by the human beings for meeting their requirement in the daily life. Okay, so that are called as the natural resources. So next we have two types of natural resources, inexhaustible and exhaustible. So first we have inexhaustible, so that resources which occur in a very such abundance and they are not likely to get exhausted by the continued use, for example air, water and the solar energy. Second one is a exhaustible, so that resources which are present in a limited quantity and they get exhausted by the continued human use. Okay, so they are further of two types, renewable and non-renewable. So first we have renewable, so that resources which can get replenished regularly, for example forest, wildlife, soil. So these are the renewable resources. And non-renewable which are exhaustible resources which can't be replenished back, so that are called as a non-renewable, for example fossil fuels and the minerals. Okay, so this is our first topic. So next topic is about the breath of the life and air. Okay, so as all of you know, air is a mixture of the gases, so that forms a protective transparent envelope around the earth, that is called as the atmosphere. Okay, so air is a dense below near the surface of the earth and it doesn't escape into the space being held to the earth by the gravity. So it is atmosphere is further divisible into four layer: troposphere, next we have stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere. So first we have troposphere. It is the lowest part of the atmosphere which is about the height of 8 to 16 kilometer. Next we have stratosphere which is above the troposphere at a height of 30 to 50 kilometer. Next we have, so in the stratosphere there is a ozone layer which lies at the height of 11 to 16 kilometer. So air is called as a breath of the life, as a life can't exist without a air. Okay, so next we have composition of the air like nitrogen, oxygen, CO2, argon and less amount of neon, helium, krypton, xenon and the ozone gases. Okay, so next we have the functions of the atmosphere. So first of all it gives oxygen for the combustion, for the burning, for the respiration of organism. Next it gives CO2 for the raw material for the plants for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, next we have nitrogen. So it is a reservoir which is made to plant through the atmosphere and biological fixation. So next we have dispersal. So air also help in the dispersal of the spores and the seeds. Okay, next climate. So the climate change is also due to the different changes in the atmosphere. Next medium of locomotion. So it also help in the locomotion of the flying animals. So next we have, it has a radio reflective layers which helpful in the radio and TV communication on the earth. Or last point, it filter out high energy cosmic rays and UV rays, so it protect the earth from the harmful radiations. So it act as a blanket that keeps the temperature of the earth constant. Okay, so this is all about the breath of the life and air and what is the role of the atmosphere in the climatic control. Okay, so climate is an area, it is determined by the inclination of that part of the earth to the sun during the different period of the year. And atmosphere is a bad conductor of the heat. It act as a temperature buffer, help in checking the excessive rise of temperature during a day and cooling during the night. So because of it, the average temperature of the earth remains steady during the day and even during the whole year. Okay, so this is all about the role of the atmosphere in the climatic control. So next topic is about the movement of the air. So the moving air is to be called as a wind. Okay, so the reason for their phenomena or the moving of the wind are the two processes. First we have a heating of air. And second, we have formation of water vapor. So water vapors are produced by the heating of water bodies, transpiration from the plant, activities of the animals, and evaporation. So water vapor rises upward and condensation of the water vapor releases a lot of energy, which may result in the cyclones and the thunderstorms. So heating of air occur by the direct insulation radiation from the hot and water body. So it produces a convection current. Okay, so air from the area of higher pressure will move towards the area of lower pressure, so that air is to be called as the breeze. ओके क्लियर. सो दिस इज़ द मूवमेंट ऑफ द एयर. मीन्स जैसे एयर किस टाइप से मूव करती है, मीन्स वो हायर कंसनट्रेशन से लोअर कंसनट्रेशन मूव करती है. ठीक है. सो दिस इज़ ऑल अबाउट द मूवमेंट ऑफ द एयर. ओके. सो नेक्स्ट वी हैव फैक्टर अफेक्टिंग द मूवमेंट ऑफ एयर. सो कौन कौन से फैक्टर्स को अफेक्ट करते हैं. फर्स्ट है अनइवन हीटिंग ऑफ द लैंड इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द अर्थ. अनइवन हीटिंग मतलब कई जगह पे ज़्यादा हीटिंग होती है, कहीं पे कम होती है. ठीक है. तो उस पर ऊपर डिपेंड करती है कि एयर कैसे मूव करेगी. सेकेंड है डिफरेंसेस इन द हीटिंग एंड कूलिंग ऑफ द लैंड एंड वाटर. थर्ड है वेपोरेशन एंड कंडेंसेशन ऑफ द वाटर वेपर. फोर्थ रोटेशन ऑफ द अर्थ. फिफ्थ हाउ हाई माउंटेन रेंजेस इन द पाथ ऑफ द विंड्स. And sixth, topography over which the wind passes. Okay, so these are the factors which affect the movement of the air. Okay, so next our topic is about the, so on the basis of the above discussion, what can you say that the appearance of the areas of the lower and higher pressure in the coastal area at night and direction in which air would flow at night in the coastal area. So all the movement of the air resulting in the diverse atmospheric phenomena are caused by the uneven heating of the atmosphere. Okay, clear. Next point is about rain. So what do I mean by the rain? So falling down of the water droplet from the cloud is to be called as a rain. So water vapors are formed in a large amount from the surface of water bodies and they wet areas due to their heating during the daytime. So a lot of water vapors are also produced by the transpiration from the plants, exhaled air and perspiration of the animals. Okay, so all these types of the water droplets that will be condensed to form a cloud, and after the condensation of the clouds they will cool and will form the rain, and rain will be came down on the earth. Okay, so the rainfall pattern of an area is decided by the availability of the water vapors. Means greater the water vapors are to be present in the air, greater will be the rain to be fall on the ground. Okay, so in India, so most of the rainfall is brought about the southwest monsoon, to the smaller extent by the northeast monsoon. Okay, so rain is accompanied by the lightning and thunder whenever difference in the warmth and crystallization of the vapor occur due to different air current running into each other. So the same thing happen when air currents are obstructed by the mountain. So this is common in the monsoon. Okay, so this is all about the rain and how it will cause a different effects. Okay, so next topic is regarding the air pollution. So this is also a very important and very simple topic, as already studied in your lower classes also. So the air pollution is the addition of the foreign particle like the gases or vapors into the atmosphere, which cause a adverse effect to the human beings, plants and animal, that is to be called as the air pollution. Okay, so air pollution is further of two types, natural and man-made. So natural air pollution is like the forest fire, dust storm, and man-made like the burning of fossil fuels in the industries, in the vehicles and thermal plants. Okay, so these are the two types of the air pollution. Okay, next we have particulate matter or the SPM, that is called as suspended particulate matter. So these suspended particulate matters are that material which are flashover in the air and always in the flying state, like the smoke, soot is a unburnt carbon, fly ash and dust. These are the suspended particulate matter. Okay, so next we have one more point, that is called smog. So smog is a smoke plus fog. When smoke and fog both combine, they will form the smog. Okay, next we have the effect of the air pollution on the human beings. So they will cause asthma, bronchitis and allergic like diseases. They always produce irritation in the eyes, throat and lungs also. They also affected our lungs, liver, kidneys, spleen and nervous system also. So they not only damage the internal organ but can also produce the cancer also. Cancer is a major disease that is caused by the air pollution. Okay. So the this diagram is of the lichen, means the effect of air pollution on the lichen. So lichens are the dwell organism that is made from the algae and fungus, मतलब algae और fungus दोनों की association से lichen बनता है. So they are very sensitive to air pollution, especially its component sulfur dioxide. They disappear in the industrial and urban areas with higher air pollution. So visit an area where lichen occur. Compare the growth of the lichen near a busy road and some distance away from the road. ओके. सो वहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो कि वहाँ पे जो लाइकन की जो ग्रोथ है वो उसको एयर पोल्यूशन से मोस्टली अफेक्टेड होता है. मतलब जहाँ पे लाइकन ज़्यादा अफेक्टेड हुआ है, इट मीन्स वहाँ उस पॉइंट के ऊपर जो एयर पोल्यूशन है वो सबसे ज़्यादा है. ठीक है. तो ये हमें लाइकन इंडिकेशन देता है कि एयर पोल्यूशन की अमाउंट क्या है उस एरिया के अंदर. क्लियर. सो नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज़ अबाउट द वाटर, ए वंडर लिक्विड. So water is also a natural resource which is liquid above 0 degree and below the 1700 degree. So it is covered by the ocean which contain 97% of the total water. So it contain 2.5% of the total water. So a major part of it occur as ice caps and glaciers, and the remaining spots terrestrial life, it is called as the fresh water. Okay. Okay, so the source of water available is mainly rainfall. So it is not uniform all over the land. 50% of world lives in the semi-arid and arid region which are not connected with any river or canal system, whereas rainfall is a lot of energy, time and efforts. Hanji. So the shortage demand of the water is rising at the rate of 4 to 8% due to increased the domestic and agricultural uses. So availability of water in the form of rainfall determines the density and richness of the biodata. Okay, so the areas with intermediate rainfall have a deciduous forest. Other factors which control the diversity of life forms are temperature and soil. So they play a less controlling effect than the water. Means very simple topic. Next we have a necessity of water. So water is used for as a component of living matter, as a reaction media, mostly reaction taking place in the presence of water, as a solvent in a various chemical, also help in the transportation of the food material in the plants and animals. It also provide turgidity and maintain the shape and of the cell. And temperature buffer means always maintain the temperature of the body of the both plants and animals. And waste is also helpful for removing the waste from our body as a urine. Okay, so this is all about the water and as a wonderful liquid. Okay, so next we have a water pollution. So before starting the water pollution, in the above paragraph we have discussed about the water harvesting. Study the effect of the water availability on the varieties of the different life forms, and study of the effect of season on the variety and abundance of the life forms. Okay, so this is all about a very simple topic. You can also read it at your home. So our next topic is about the water pollution. So the degradation of the quality of the water due to the addition of some foreign particle or the removal of the desirable substance that make it unfit for the use of human, animals and the other natural phenomena. So this is to be called as a water pollution. Means अगर water के अंदर कोई foreign particle enter कर जाए, उससे water की quality लेस हो जाए, तो उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, वाटर पोल्यूशन. ओके, नेक्स्ट वी हैव सोर्सेज ऑफ द वाटर पोल्यूशन. फर्स्ट इज फ्रॉम द सीवेज. Okay, so it is a human waste or waste from the dairy farms, detergents. So this is also a source of the water pollution. Next is fertilizer. So they are concentrate which are added to the crop field to increase the crop yield. Pesticides, they are chemicals sprayed over the crop to protect them from the pest. Industrial waste, they waste product by the industries like the dyeing industry, electroplating or paper industries. So they also cause the water pollution. Next we have thermal pollution, that is from the thermal power plant, and oil spills like the oil refineries, tankers, automobile workshops. So they will also cause the water pollution. Okay, next we have the effects of the water pollution. So the diseases caused by the water pollution like the cholera, typhoid and diarrhea. Second point, toxic chemicals. So the chemicals like the mercury by the paper industry, that will cause Minamata disease. Cadmium, also called Itai disease. Lead cause the plumbism, and arsenic will cause the blackfoot diseases in the plants also. Next we have eutrophication. So it is the enrichment of the water bodies or the surface of the water when covered with the algae, that is to be called as a algal bloom. So when this algal bloom is to be formed, then the oxygen will not reach up to the aquatic life, like from up to the fishes, and so that's why that animal get killed. So this algae that will increase in number, so they will produce a very toxic harmful substances for the survival of the animals. Next we have reduced oxygen. So when oxygen dissolved in water is reduced due to the addition of the organic matter or eutrophication, and it will also rise in the temperature. Okay, so these all are the effects of the water pollution on the both plants and the animals. Okay, so next topic is about minerals riches in the soils. So soil is the uppermost part of the earth that contain minerals and humus. So the type of soil decides the diversity of the life in that area, because it contains a mineral matter, organic matter, air, water, and variable soil organisms. Okay, so the function of this soil is to provide the encourage to the terrestrial plant. All the mineral required by the plant are provided by the soil. Terrestrial plant obtain their requirement of water from the soil. Soil contain air required for the respiration of the plant, roots, and number of the soil organism. Okay, and the study of the soil or the rocky crust of the earth is to be called as a pedogenesis. So that will be occur in two stages, weathering and the humification. Okay, so first we have weathering. So it is a process of breaking of rock particle on the surface of earth into a fine particle. That process is to be called as a weathering process. So it can be of a physical process or chemical or biological weathering. So first we have physical weathering. So it will be caused due to the atmospheric changes like the heating, cooling, wetting, drying. Okay, so chemical weathering, that may be due to the weather conditions like the hydration, oxidation, reduction, carbonation, solubilization. And biological weathering due to the breakage of the rocks by the action of the living organism. So this weathering can be of the three types. Okay, so second point is about the humification. So what do you mean by the humification? So the addition of the organic matter to the weathered rock particle to form the soil, that is to be called as a humification. Okay, so soil is a mixture of the different types of the particle, different types of the organic matter and soil organism, water and air. Okay, so the type of the quality of the soil will also depend upon the its particulate composition of the soil, like can be it sandy soil, clay soil, loamy soil. So the quality of each type of further depend upon the amount of humus also. Okay, because humus binds the soil particle, release some mineral, help in the hydration as well as the aeration. So the main nutrient content in the soil depend upon the rock which produce the soil particle. Okay, so the quality of topsoil determine the density and diversity of that area. Clear? So this is all about the type and quality of the soil and how this soil helpful in the increasing the fertility of or increase the nutrient in the soil. Okay, so this is about the fact of flowing water. So our next topic is about same soil pollution. So soil pollution, it is the when any foreign particle enter into the soil and decrease its fertility, that is to be called as the soil pollution. So the which factor affecting the soil pollution? First we have overgrazing. So it destroys the herbs, grasses and seedlings. Soil is exposed and it will cause compaction of the soil which reduce its porosity and percolation. Okay, second point is felling of trees. So excess felling of tree will also cause the soil pollution. Next we have heavy rain and strong wind will also cause the soil pollution, and like the use of the pesticides, fertilizer in the soil, in the crops will also cause the soil pollution, and more irrigation on the crops will also cause the soil pollution. So these all are the causes and its sources of the soil pollution. So how we can control this soil pollution? So by controlling the overgrazing, by using the terracing, by using the counter farming, by using the windbreaks, vegetation cover. So by this all point we can increase the fertility of the soil. Okay, So the last topic of this chapter, that is about the biogeochemical cycle. This is a very important topic. So what do you mean by the biogeochemical cycles? So the nutrients which become component of the living beings are called as a biogenetic nutrient. बायोजियोकेमिकल साइकिल का मीनिंग क्या है कि कोई भी चीज़ है जो रिसाइकल होकर हम तक कैसे पहुंच रही है इन्वायरमेंट के अंदर, उसको हम बोलते हैं बायोजियोकेमिकल साइकिल. सो इन सिंपल लैंग्वेज यू कैन से दैट द रिपीटेड सर्कुलेशन ऑफ द न्यूट्रिएंट between abiotic and biotic component of the environment, that is called as the biogeochemical cycles. Clear? So our first cycle is about the water cycle. So this is a water cycle. See this diagram. Okay, so in this diagram you have to see starting from the left side. First of all we have a surface water. So when water get evaporated, it will goes upward, and in the upward direction it will form the clouds, and after the condensation of the clouds, same water will be fall down on the surface of the earth. ओके, सो दिस इज़ द फर्स्ट मेथड कि वाटर पहले इवेपोरेट हुआ, वही वाटर क्लाउड्स बनने के बाद दोबारा फिर नीचे सरफेस के ऊपर आ जाता है. ठीक है. सेकेंड रीज़न क्या है, देखो, like we have a transpiration process. So same transpiration is a loss of water by the plant, that is called transpiration process. So by the transpiration process first water is lost. ठीक है. It will move upward and will form the clouds. After the condensation of the clouds, the same water will be came down on the surface of the earth. Okay. So third point is the respiration process. So during respiration same CO2 and water is released, so that water vapor will be goes upward and will form clouds, and same water will be move down on the surface. Okay. And similarly, so this is all about the water surface, means how water will get evaporated and which comes down on the surface of the earth. Okay. So this is the water cycle. Second cycle is about the nitrogen cycle. For this see this cycle. So in the nitrogen cycle we have four main processes. First we have nitrogen fixation, next we have nitrogen assimilation, decomposition and denitrification. Okay, so start from this. First of all, nitrogen present in the atmosphere. Okay, it is a conversion of the inert nitrogen gas into the acceptable form. So this process is to be called as a nitrogen fixation. So it can be of three types: biological nitrogen fixation, atmospheric and industrial nitrogen fixation. Okay, so first we have biological. So in the biological, a number of the living bacteria and blue-green algae are capable of picking up nitrogen and converting them into the ammonia. So this process is to be called as the ammonification process. Okay, see this diagram. So here nitrogen fixation by the green plant, by the process of ammonification it will be converted into ammonia. Okay. Second, now nitrogen fixation in the presence of lightning, electric storm and high energy UV rays. So the small amount of nitrogen and oxygen, they will react to form the nitrogen oxide, and they dissolve in rainwater to form nitric acid. So they pass down to the soil and water bodies, forming the nitrites and the nitrates. So here you will see, first of all, by the modification process ammonia will be formed, ammonia converted into nitrite and then to nitrate form, and after the denitrification process it will be converted into nitrogen. Okay. Similarly, other method, that is a nitrogen assimilation. So in this method it is carried out by the plant. So they will pick up the nitrate and ammonia ion from their media, and nitrate or nitrite is first changes into ammonium state. Now this ammonium ion combine with the acid to form amino acids, and amino acid give rise to protein and the nucleotides. Okay. Now this nucleotide will produce the nucleic acids, and enzymes are derived from their protein. Okay. So next method is, first of all, nitrogen fixed by the plants. So plants are eaten by the animals. Similarly, animals also convert them into ammonia. Ammonia changes to nitrite, nitrite to nitrate, and nitrate again goes into the plants, and the cycle will be repeated. Okay. And other method, nitrogen changes by the nitrification process into the atmospheric and industrial fixation. It will be changes into nitrification, by nitrification process into nitrate, and nitrate by the denitrification process changes into nitrogen into the atmosphere. Okay, so this is all about the nitrogen cycle. Okay, so next we have carbon cycle. So in the carbon cycle you have to see first of all CO2, carbon in the form of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere. So when it combined with the water it will form carbonate. राइट साइड फ्रॉम स्टार्ट किया मैंने. सो कार्बोनेट में कन्वर्ट हो गया, कार्बोनेट कन्वर्ट हो गया लाइमस्टोन. लाइमस्टोन का फॉर्मूला होता है कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट CaCO3. सो कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट को जब हम बर्न करते हैं तो जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है वो दोबारा फिर एटमॉस्फेयर के अंदर आ जाती है. ठीक है. सेकेंड मेथड क्या है कि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, कार्बन किसने ली, ऑर्गेनिक प्लांट्स ने लिया. ठीक है. प्लांट्स को जब डाई हो जाते हैं, फॉसिल फ्यूल में कन्वर्ट हो जाते हैं, उनमें से क्या प्रोड्यूस होता है, कोल. जब कोल को हम बर्न करते हैं तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड दोबारा फिर एटमॉस्फेयर के अंदर आ जाती है. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट मेथड क्या है कि उन्हीं प्लांट्स को कि अगर वो मतलब डाई हो जाएं, कई साल तक वैसे ही पड़े रहें, तो वो प्लांट्स में को किस में कन्वर्ट हो जाते हैं, फॉसिल फ्यूल, पेट्रोलियम में. पेट्रोलियम को जब हम बर्न करते हैं तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड दोबारा फिर एयर के अंदर. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट है यहाँ फिर प्लांट्स को लिया एनिमल्स ने. एनिमल्स के भी क्या कन्वर्टेड हो गए, पेट्रोलियम में कन्वर्ट हो गए. पेट्रोलियम को बर्न करने से CO2 वापस. ठीक है. या फिर प्लांट को एनिमल्स ने लिया, एनिमल्स आगे कन्वर्ट हो गए इनऑर्गेनिक कार्बोनेट शेल्स में. शेल्स को दोबारा फिर बर्न किया तो CO2 एटमॉस्फेयर के अंदर. ठीक है. या फिर क्या मेथड है, प्लांट को लिया एनिमल्स ने, एनिमल्स ने रिस्पायर किया. ठीक है. रेस्पिरेशन के प्रोसेस CO2 दोबारा फिर एटमॉस्फेयर के अंदर. या फिर डायरेक्ट प्लांट भी क्या करते हैं, जब हम उनको डायरेक्ट वो भी CO2 गैस एटमॉस्फेयर के अंदर प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. ठीक है. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द कार्बन साइकिल. ओके, क्लियर दिस. सो नेक्स्ट वी हैव लास्ट साइकिल, दैट इज द ऑक्सीजन साइकिल. दैट इज वेरी सिंपल साइकिल. देखो सबसे पहले ऑक्सीजन एटमॉस्फेयर के अंदर, रेस्पिरेशन लिए हमने ऑक्सीजन गैस इनहेल की. ठीक है. और कौन सी गैस रिलीज़ कर दी, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड किसने ली, प्लांट्स ने, फोटोसिंथेसिस की प्रोसेस की. CO2 लेते हैं और वो ऑक्सीजन गैस दोबारा एयर के अंदर छोड़ देते हैं. ठीक है. या फिर क्या हुआ, जितने भी ऑर्गेनिक मॉलिक्यूल है जैसे ग्लूकोज है, ग्लूकोज जब हमने रिस्पायर की, इनहेल की, दोबारा वो कन्वर्ट हो गई CO2 और वाटर वेपर में. CO2 और वाटर दोनों फोटोसिंथेसिस के थ्रू प्लांट ने यूज़ किया और प्लांट से जो ऑक्सीजन दोबारा फिर एटमॉस्फेयर के अंदर आ गई. Okay, so this is the oxygen cycle, very simple cycle. So in this main cycle is about nitrogen and carbon cycle. Nitrogen is the most important cycle among all the cycles. Okay, so last topic of this chapter, that is about the ozone hole. So this is also a very simple topic because all of you know about the ozone. So it is a triatomic O3 gas, and it is a very poisonous to the human beings. So it doesn't occur in the quantity in the lower atmosphere near the surface of the earth of the troposphere. It is present in the stratosphere layer of the atmosphere. So the part of atmosphere where ozone is to be present, that is called as ozone layer and ozonosphere, or it is also called as ozone shield. So ozone is reformed as a atomic oxygen. It is formed from the oxygen because oxygen has a O2 formula. So O2 plus O, it will form O3, that is the ozone layer. Okay. Next we have ozone depletion because today we are using a various ozone depleting substance like the chlorofluorocarbon, chloroform, methyl bromide. So this substance will slowly and continuously start depleting the ozone layer. So if ozone layer is to be depleted, then the harmful rays that will be comes on the earth, and it will cause various types of the diseases like the skin diseases, like the skin cancer. It will also weak our immune system. It increase the harmful mutations and reduce the yield of the crop plant and growth of the plankton and the aquatic larva. Okay, so this is the hole that is to be produced in the ozone layer in October 1980, 85 and 90. So as the year increases, so the size of hole is also get increases. Okay, so this is all about our chapter. So in this chapter we have to study about the main two types of the natural resources. Next we three types of the pollution, air, water and the soil. Next we do the four type of cycle, water, carbon, nitrogen and oxygen cycle. And last we have to discuss only about the ozone layer and its depletion and what are the causes of its depletions. Okay, so this is all about our chapter. So now our chapter has been completed. Thank you.